Okay, and hello everyone. So thanks to be here. So this is the first time I kind of do the code live streams for the English community. And the first I need to say sorry is that we kind of have some incidents to streams on YouTube or Twitch, which I will try to figure out a better way to do that. But for these times, I have to use the Bilibili's, the Chinese streaming platform to do that. But I will upload the recording to YouTube. So so hopefully you don't miss the fun part of it. So okay, so first I need to maybe introduce a little bit about myself. So my name is Anthony Fu, and I'm kind of really passionate in open source community. So I'm the creator of several packages like Vite, Light Div, Vue Use, or Unos S. Sorry, let me switch to dark mode. And I'm also the coding member of Vue Vite, Nux, and Vite. So as you might know, that's for today's topic, I would like to implement a Vue app using Vue and Vite, of course. So about the app, I kind of describe it as a word clock app. So it's basically like this one. So this one is the kind of my favorite tools when it comes to management times with team workers from other time zones. So we need to coordinate to find a time that fit for both of us, right? So and today's I would like to maybe mimic this apps from scratch. So let me kind of demonstrate about the apps a little bit. So you can see that you can add multiple time zones or city names. For example, I have a friend from New York, and I have a from the other from Paris. So we would like to figure out a better times that work for both of us. So you can see that maybe at this time I could select them, and at this inside of this app you can export it to a few calendars or as an event. But what I most do is that I just taking a screenshot of it, so I can share it with them, so they could clear to see that what's the correct time for them at their time zone. So yeah, this site is called World Time Buddy, and yeah, so and basically for the task is that we will build a build a clone of this app from scratch, and this is really trying to demonstrate my workflows, but also I kind of feel that I would like to have some improvements of these apps. So but today we probably won't have time to cover that part of doing some improvements to this, but we are just focusing on about the functionality of it first. So yeah, without further ado, that's kind of that's starting coding. So yeah, the first is that I have made a few templates of using Vite and Vue. So this one is called Vitesse, which is having a few packages and plugins set up. So you could have for example file-based routing, which is similar to Nux, and also you have the components folder, which all the components under that folder will be auto imported. So okay, and also Pinia and layout system, something like that. So it's basically an out-of-box template for creating apps. And this one is more SSG, which is static site generator related. So it's more suitable for blogs or docs that you want to have a little bit better SEOs while having the dynamic part of Vue, right? So it comes with the Vite SSG, which is like to render your components on at the build time. So like you don't have you will have like the full HTMLs when the server is landed. But like this one is a little bit like having having a lot of things out of the box. But for me, that I kind of sometimes kind of more prefer to like this light version, which is called like Vite Lite, which kind of removes some part of the SSG, but kind of focusing on like providing SPA, which is single app application. So about like without the need to have SSG or like have PWA, we just like need to want to focusing on the apps itself or like the logic itself. So and for the most of time, so I will just like use the git and foo, which is and then like I kind of pass the name of it, and then I can have my app, something like that. So this way we will like grab down the repos and then like remove the git histories. And so like you can like pretending it as a standalone like without the histories that I need to maintain this template. So it's basically like creating a new app out of these templates. But I think for these times I would like to like show you a little bit like how I kind of build these templates, or like just basically from the scratch, and like I will install the plugins inside of them like one by one, and like trying to explain them as we go. So instead of like using the git to like use the templates, I will like I will go to my folder, and then like I kind of think it's called npm init Vue, I think Vue S3. So we are using the create Vue template from Vue, and then like you can see. So like about the this is probably the hardest part of starting a project. You need to like think a good name of it. So so this one is like, it's basically like, it's not like really a word clock, but like a scheduler for like different time zone. It's called like word time body. I don't know. Yeah, cannot figure out time. Oh, by the way, that's for these projects, I don't have like any protest, or like I don't have any ideas of what I will end with. I just like trying to like I just only have this idea of like trying to like clone this app, but I don't know how to do that. So I would like to show you that my way my path of thinking of like how I doing it. But like in this process, it will also like, it will like definitely will have mistakes, or like I will definitely have like something like sometimes like I don't know what to do. But yeah, I think that's also like the more very important part of like doing development. So like you will have like a kind of like weird situations, or like you will have like something like stuck you to on that. So yeah, basically like trying to be clear. So yeah, I don't know, maybe that's just, don't waste too much time on this. I will just call it word time. So okay, yes, of course, definitely no. And yeah, let's not have the view router yet at this time, and no opinion and no vidas. Okay, and for ESLint we'll like install manually later. Code, I think it's called word time. Okay, and all right, so we will just like git init, and then like I will use pnpm for this install. Okay, so yeah, this is I think the basic setup of the project. I will just remove the README. But if you want to have like some, I will just do some cleanup. Okay. Yeah, I kind of prefer like this. And I'll just, okay. Maybe let's keep it simple. All right. So yeah. So let's start a server and to see how it works. Okay. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, it's a kind of really nice like starter template. So I will grab these apps to okay, to the right panel. So like you can see them like in real time. So yeah, maybe let's do a commit to init. And then I kind of need to like do some cleanup of this. So I'll just remove everything, but like leave a app.view, which I'll just say dev hello. And maybe just like, and maybe I don't need the styles either. Okay, we got hello. And yeah, maybe I need a bit style is that I would like to have the have it as a dark mode for now. So like it will be like more consistent. So, and then like I will just commit again. And then like actually like you can starting like to coding things, but I would like to like install a few extensions I would like to have I would like to use. So yeah, I don't need this one. And for one is that I need called unplugging Vue components, which is do the auto components auto importing. So I will just like copy it auto in components. And note this is actually an unplugging. For unpluggings is that it's like universal interface for both Vite and Webpack or like others. So like you have to, when we use it to inside of Vite, we need to use the dash.vite submodules. So it's basically like this. So we just it's a function, so like it generates a plugin. So we just paste it here as inside of the plugins, and I kind of prefer to use uppercase here. So here we kind of have it set up. So and then we can try it. So like I add a components folder, and then like maybe hello. Okay, and now I copy paste here, and then like using here, I can use the hello without importing it. I think. Okay, yeah, I think for in the latest folder you need to have the JSX preserve. Okay, any. So maybe that's restart the server again. Okay, yeah, as you can see that yeah, you can see that the components being picked up automatically. And then like in here, I just need to use hello. And for the types here, it doesn't get grabbed. Maybe I need to like restart Vola again to see. And that's no. Maybe it's or maybe like should I kind of define pops? Yeah, just need to be sure. Yeah, it's kind of weird that I think the file doesn't get picked up by it. The plugin will generate this like these files, which like hint the Vola to like pick up, okay, to see, okay, this header is from that component. But I'm not sure if why this doesn't get a pick up. But maybe let's remove it here. Would that work? And here, nope. Yeah, I don't know why, but I kind of believe it would definitely works. But maybe there's some glitch on this. But we'll figure out it later. So, but at least I think the functionality it works, right? So maybe we could have passing some like props to try. So maybe I can say like hello, and I call it name, right? Name here, and then in here I can have it name like Anthony. Yeah, I don't need the column here. Okay, you can see that. Here we got the content of it. So, and here we kind of have Vite set up components. Okay, and then like I like to also like things like we are auto import components. We also like to like auto import for the APIs, which like again we just install it by unplugins auto import. Okay. So during it, I will just like auto import. Okay, again from Vite, the entry, and then we just copy paste again. But in these times, we kind of need to like tell these plugins where what the APIs we want to like auto import, right? So we here like we just say like import, and then we provide it called Vue. So with these ones, we could have like basically like maybe let's say uppercase. So I want to like change the name to uppercase, right? So I can use computed without importing it. So I can just use them. So and also like so I can have pops here, right? And pops .name to uppercase. And then I change the temporary reference to uppercase. Okay, here, yeah, as you can see, it works, right? It converts the pops to uppercase, and it's computed. So, okay, so again, we just commit again, set up auto import, and then like it comes to. I think it comes to like how we style the components, and here I will use like Uno CSS, which is you can think it as an alternative to Tailwind. So again, install it. So yeah, you can also like you can always like to like do some search for the projects I kind of reference to. So I won't like explain them like much inside of this stream, but like yeah, I'm trying to demonstrate how to use them, and maybe it's better to see like how it works, and then like we could it might help like you to like better understanding what it is for, I guess. But anyway, you can always like to search it, and also like to read the docs by yourself. So for Uno CSS, we just like from again Uno CSS called Vite, and then we have here a column. And with this one, I think we'll need to have inside of this main entry, we'll need to like import uno.css, which like this is a virtual modules which like to serve all the generate utilities like from Uno CSS, which is like basically like you can see like tailwinds, like you have like text color red, something like that. But this is totally on demand, so like only when you use them it will be like generated. So after that, I think like you can use class and text red. Okay, not working. And let me see. Okay, the server is down. Okay, yeah, you can see that. Yeah, the text is already like being red. So like I can change it to green and save it. It will like instantly change to green. So for example, like I can also like font sans to like make it as a sans serif, or like mono for like the mono space, and yeah, let's keep it same. And then I can have like XL for extra large, so like 3XL to make it very large, so something like that. And for Uno CSS is that the key is that it being like really flexible. So this is like basically like from the utilities from Tailwind, right? But like you can have a little bit more out of it. So and you can have like this Uno CSS is like basically like more powered by the preset. So we could have like preset Uno, which is like by default we have it, but when we provide the preset, we need to like it will override the default, so we need to still provide it. And then like we have a called preset attribute file. And yeah, you see that all this one are from Uno CSS entry. So with this attribute file, it kind of becomes quite interesting. Is that as you can see that in this case we have like text green and text 3XL, right? So as you can see that if you have like many of them, like you are kind of duplicating of them. But inside of that attribute file allows you to have like a common attribute. Like for example, like if you have text green, so I can do that. So you can see that it still got the same effect, and you can change to red. It will be red. And to red, like you can still have like different colors of the edge, something like that, different tones of the color. So and you can also like use the utilities without having to be called as the classes. So it's like this one is also like a valid attribute, but this is like basically like give you the freedom of doing things. So like if you want, you can still have that like font sans, and then like you can have like blood, so something like that. So you can do that, or like you complete without the values. All of them works. And finally, like I would like to say that one more preset of the Uno CSS is that the icons. So icons plays a very like important roles of kind of like my app designs. So I kind of like cannot go without the icons. So here with the preset icons, it allows you to like use any icons from the like any icons that are open source. So you can use the websites I made called icons.js.org, which would be a collection of like all the icons, like the icon sets that's supported, that often are kind of open source and they are free to use, but like with a little bit different license that you need to like maybe aware of them. So for example, like if I want to use this icon set, for example, like I want to have a B here, and here you can see that's how to use this icon here. So for the icons presets, you need to like install the data set from Iconify, which is the data sets powered by this one. So I can install they call iconify-json and slash the classroom name you want. So like for example here I want to use carbon. And yeah, then I can restart the server again. And then if I want to like insert an icon here, so I can do that by creating a new div tag with I prefix and then like the name, and then I can have a bit. Yeah, as you can see that here we got a bit. And then like if I kind of want to make it larger, I just make the font size larger. So like 5XL, so you can see that. And then like again, I can have it as red, or like yeah, it should be yellow, right? Yeah, okay. So yeah, this is like the most like the most the plugins I use the most for like building a Vue apps using Vite. And yeah, and also like for the auto import and for the Uno CSS, they are kind of framework agnostic. So they don't come with the Vue, but only the Vue components is like, it called like Vue components, right? So it has to only works with Vue. So, and yeah, so like, again here, oh, sorry, I forgot about things. So here, I need to import a thing called like reset. Maybe that's use Tailwinds one. Okay. It's a bit weird. Maybe I need to install it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This one's give you some like reset for different browsers. Like they have the default styles. So this one is out the difference. So yeah, I think that's it. So for this one, so like fits setup Uno CSS. And I guess a few things is that I would like to enable the ESLint for me. So we initially like skip the ESLint and inside of the promote from the create view. So I will install again. I will just get them back. So install ESLint and with my ESLint config. Yeah, it will take a while. So at the meantime, so we create ESLint RC, which like extends and add and full. So yeah, I don't know why it takes some time. All right, okay, and here I think I got the ESLint set up, so I need to restart the extensions. So in this case, that's all right. Okay, yeah, as you can see that this one is that from the ESLint, and then when I save it, it will like auto fix for me. So like it serves as the like auto format. So like even with the intentions that it will also fix to me. So this is my kind of like my workflows of like setting up a project. But like of course like you can check out more inside of my VDES templates, and I think yeah. So set up ESLint. Okay, yeah, maybe let me. Oh, that's weird. So yeah, let's take a break, a little bit break. So so I would like to upload this one. I'll upload the repo, so like you can see them as I push it. So let's word for time. Okay. Okay, and create way. And then I just copy the command to push it. All right, and I guess you can see it. And I will set up the build quickly. Oh yeah, I'll just copy the configuration. Things like Netlify doesn't like really work well with the PNPM yet. So it basically like I need to copy a Netlify config here and check it build preview dev. Okay, and maybe that would work. And then I push again. So I could create a new site. What is it called? Word time. Okay. Okay, yeah, just deploy it. And yeah, let me assign a name of it. Would that work? It's already be taken. Yeah. Anyway, and I will just use my domain, I guess. So I will use time.entfoo.me. Well, that would always work. Yeah. Later we'll see that maybe I guess I will change the name, but for now we just call it as like we don't take too much time to think about the name. Okay. So let me check. It should take a bit of time. I guess I call it like live streaming. And maybe I should okay, I should create a readme here. Live streaming and time body here. Okay, and yeah, let's just keep it simple. Okay, and with this time we should have it live. No. Why not? Maybe there's some failure. It failed. Why? Okay. Okay, I guess it's about the hosting thing. So shamefully host things like the package hosting strategies of PNPM is a bit different from YAML PNPM, and sometimes not all the packages is compatible with it. So yeah, we just have it as a shameful hosting as a temporary solution, temporary solution. Hoist. So shamefully. Right? Oh, maybe okay. Let's build locally to see if that will work. Okay. Nope. Webpack. Oh. Build only. Yeah, I don't really like enjoying type check here. So for build I'll just remove the type check for now. Yeah. What? Okay. Hoist. Okay. Okay, I spelled it wrong. Thanks. Okay. How is this? Okay. It's weird. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, I think that would do. And later it should be live. And yeah, I will just like change the descriptions here so like you can see that. And I will start it. Yeah, let's take a short break and I will check if I got any comments from Twitter. Okay. Yeah, seems to be fine. And let's see if it's goes live. All right, yeah, it's going live. Okay, so yeah, and yeah, I'm sorry that if you cannot comment in these platforms, and maybe you can just leave comments to my tweet. So like I will like check it occasionally, and then like I can reply you. Yeah, I'm sorry for any like inconvenience of this. Yeah, I really hope that we could like figure out a way to like improve the streamings for YouTube. Okay, so I think that's kind of it for the project setup. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like missed anything, but yeah, I think it's okay. So like that's focusing on like about the logic here. So again, that's to check here. So I guess we need to like break down these functionalities a little bit. And I guess the first like really straightforward thing is that we need to grab all the data from Timezone, right? So we need to know that, okay, New York is like, okay, a minus 12 hours from home, actually. Oh, okay. So like basically like we need to know that the actual number of like each time zone of the hours offset, right? So so that we could like build the UIs out of it. So yeah, I don't know how to do that. So let's just Google it. So time zone data JSON, maybe JSON, or like not sure if like if JavaScript already have it built in. Maybe I'll just call it JavaScript time zone data. I think there's some sort of like built-in APIs for that already. So like for example, like here we have like 2 local string here. Yeah, and there's a lot of choice. I kind would like to try this. I never used it before, but from what I can see, this looks quite promising. This one packaged of this one. Okay. Oh, I think I have worked on these files a while ago. Okay, I think this would work. UTC. So I guess this is the standard, right? There's a lot of data. Okay. I think that's just use this package. I'll just install it. Okay. I need to rebuild the node modules with the hosted change. Okay. So and then like inside of this one, we could see like let's say time zone from timezone.json, right? And then we could just print it out. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we got the data, but then like we need to, yeah. I guess that's for now. That I guess we kind of use the key as the UTC as the key of the time zone. So like we could look up and also like preserve it. So for example, like if we want to like share it, right? So we need to like have it some kind of the data inside of our URL to say, okay, time zone and equal to like American dash like New York, something like that. So that would be our key to like allocate and serialize the time zone, where the actual times of the time zone is like saving inside of this one. So like we don't need to duplicate when we serialize inside of the URL. So I guess that's things like this ones we have like a few list of them. So like this one is actually like you can add a lot of them. So let's say that we kind of like to define an interface first. So yeah, just like call it time zone. So yeah, I think that's quite simple. So zooms equal to reference, and we would like to have an array of a time zone, and then we pass in empty array of it. So in this case, that I would like to make a search box, I think. So for example, like I need to have an input ref, and the empty string. So here I will use the input and then vmodel binding to it. Input, right? Okay, yeah, I think we don't need this one. And then like tab text. Okay. Okay. And we need to have a result. So that's a search result. And we use a computer here so that we kind of rely on the input of it. So maybe that's say, okay, time zoom and find. And then like we could have IUTC, which is an array, right? So, and find again. So we have a U here. So U includes our input of value. And then like time zoom. Yeah, maybe just return it. And shouldn't be find, right? Should be filter. And fine. Okay. I guess that would work. Maybe just like let's have list them as in down. So v4 high of and the key is, I guess there's like I don't know, maybe let's use text to see. And then like we have like one text. Okay. All right. So yeah, this is kind of listing all of them. So yeah. So then yeah, as you can see, like I can search now. But yeah, this is maybe case insensitive. Let me check. What's the format of it? It's not value text. Okay. UTC here. Oh, I see. So ideally, like as you can see that in this format as the time zoom here, so it does not present what the cities of it, but where we would like to have the city names of the actual like when we display it, things like, yeah, you can see that this one is New York, and then like this is more like human friendly, so like you can read them, right? So the first thing is that this is the minimum, like the bare bone search, and it doesn't even like match with the case. So I think that for like if you kind of have the New York, seems like we're kind of having the include. Okay, yeah, as you can see that this one is probably the New York. So and for here I would like to use a library called fuse.js, I think, which is like fuzzy searching. So like you don't need to like matching with you don't need to have a exact match, but like it will be matched with when you find that any related thing. So again, let's install it. Okay, so here we have like fuse from, okay, and then like we will build a field here, new field, and then like we're passing the time zone data to it. Keys.name, I think the key should be UTC and text, or maybe the value, maybe value, and not sure if that would work, but let's see. So and then we can use search, and then we put the input to it. But then the the data structure of the result is a bit different. Things like it's wrapping with a little more information is called like fuse result, and then like you have a ref index, it have like score of them, and then like you have the item, which is the data, the actual data we passed in. So here we kind of have item, and then we have a task here. So let's see if that would work. Okay, so New York, yeah, and then like I could have a better, I think I have a better search of them, and then like this one is that's not very clear of like UTC. Or maybe I should transform the data a bit. That's not. I don't think that makes sense to like use the raw data of it. Things like I would like to like expand this. Like for example, like here is the one entry for one time zone, right? But I would like to like expand it as like, for example, like here we got like for UTC. I like to like expand one of the two like 4 entries. So like we can search by the UTC, but like we can know that which one is actually matching with the key that's user input. So I guess that I need to like do some transformation to here. So here I would use like a for each, a map, flat map. So like I can return an array of it, and then like yeah, I could do that. And then like this is the item. So then I kind of return .utc.map. So I have this one. And then like I can have a time zone call, like for example, like I can just return the time zone format. So the name of it would be the U, and the offset of it would be i.offset. So here is like normalize, or I should call it raw, and then like I can call it time zone equal to here. So basically like we kind of do some like expanding to make the UTCs these entries into 4, and for all the entries. So it will be clear for us to like to say that's name it, and then okay, it does not work. Okay, here we just need to the name of it to do the search. Okay, yeah, you can see that. And yeah, this will work. And then like I can have the value of it. So I can say I add an offset. Okay, and then like you can see that let me do some like a little bit style to it. Maybe let's move it to, and then like I can use font mono, and here I use a flex, and we should be like 10, and text right, and gap 2. Okay, and oh, this is interesting. I guess there's like summertime issues where like New York have 2 different time zones. Which, oh, okay, is this one? Is the ST? I guess this one is right. And so, okay, so maybe that is the ST. We should like we should follow this attribute. So I dot is DST, so like we will know it, but yeah, for now like we don't need to care about it. But later that we can filter out based on the real data of it. And yeah, we will like skip it for now. Really? Is there really a thing that you will have like 0.5 like half hour of the time zoom. Oh, even 0.75. Okay, this is something I didn't know, which is quite interesting. Okay. Okay, and for here, I would like to have like a key dump dot enter enter. So let's just say that. Okay. So we would like to like maintain a list, and here is just the search result, right? But like we would like to maintain a list of the time zones we really want. So here on the enters, and also like we would like to have like an index called 0, and then here I can have like an index, and when the like we can have a selection of the which items of it should be like used, right? Or yeah, I don't think so. I think I should just make it up as a button. So when you click it, add to time zone, and then like we have an I here. That's rapid. And zoom start push. Okay. And maybe just remove it, the unenter here. Okay. It should be item. So here I can just print out the zoom here. So yeah, the first is empty. So like I can have a New York here. I just click it. So it will like preserve it, and then like I have a Shanghai, and then like we can have a list of the things. So like later we could like introduce the UI of it, right? So here then I think it comes to we might need to have some like refactoring of it. So I think the first that comes to my mind is that the item of it. This one, things like, as you can see that on the top, we might also need to reuse it. So yeah, so I will refactor out this file. So here is that I will just create a types module here, so that it can be shared across components. And then like I will need to import it. And then for the time zoom here, I might need to have a composable, and then like have a data. I think that this should be like exposed as a raw data side. So like the other modules or other components could use it. So for the time zooms, I think should I make it parallel? Okay. Here, okay. And then maybe that just moved out the time zoom search components. I'll just copy entire this over, and here, and composable. I think I misspelled it. Or types. Okay. And here I don't need this data, so okay. I think we should have a define image, and then like not really actually. I think I can have a state here, and then like move these zooms to state. So things like we will kind of like building an SPA, so we don't need to care about like the reference of the data. So like we could just have a global module here, and then like in every components we could just directly like import them. So yeah, for this one we could have like this one. We could have this utility functions at here. So maybe so then like here we could have imports to composables and state. So here, yeah, you can use it. Then just refresh the page. Okay. And yeah, I think I need to do some cleanup here. Maybe just remove everything. State, right? Yeah, it should. And then like for this part, we should call it Timezone search. And then, okay, it's back to work again. Okay, great. And yeah, that's friend out a bit. So border here, I used to like for example like M2 for margin, and then like P2 for pending. So I can have like this one. So for border we could have like gray, so that it will be like not that high contrast. So and for now, like we are building in a dark mode, but I also like to have it in light mode as well. So actually what I would do is that actually like I would choose gray and use the opacity here. So I can have like 20% of opacity. So it would work for both light mode and dark mode, since like it's the middle of them. So and so here I just like create a border here, and then like I would like to have a navbar. So should I call it navbar or like action bar? I think it's called action bar. So we will have the search inside of the action bar. So I'll use the template here. So again, I will use the border and gray again. Maybe like, oh yeah, sorry, like this one. And then like I have a Timezone search, and then I have a P2. Yeah, I'll just remove the body. Okay, so yeah, for here, yeah, maybe I don't need the pending here. So for action bar, I can have it B for button. So like I only have the button side of the borders, things like the other sides are provided by the parent. And I remove it, and then like I think the main should be or time schedule. And then like I would just create another component called Vue here. And I'll just like this component will be holding for the real action for them, but like I will just like exposing the data here for now. And then it comes to like this part of it, right? So for here I can have a placeholder here for like search Timezone. So yeah, you can see that. And then we have a bit of styles like px to py1. and then I can have a border and background to transparent. Oh, sorry. And for border again, I would like to have a bit like less contrast, and I can have it rounded. Oh, sorry, rounded. So it'll be like a little bit rounded, if you can see that. So, and here that you can see that this kind of the list of all the items are actually like the real DOM, but like we would like to have it as a hover line. We don't like need to like push down all the rest contents of it. So I will like use a relative here for the parent, and then like this one is the search result. So like I will use absolute. So top maybe full. Okay. And we need to have a background. So yeah, well, I don't know. Sorry. Okay, so left 0, right 0. Okay, this should be full. Okay, and we should only show them visual should be like only when input is there. So like if I kind of remove it, it will not be here. So like, oh, why? Okay, yeah, as you can see that. Okay, and then like we will need to have a little bit like focus on things. Yeah. So for now, if we click them, okay, add to time zoom. I think we can have a little bit helper function here. Add to time zone, and I would like to clean up the where is the time zone here? Why is different? Okay, why this one is? Oh, I see. This one, the type is different from our definition here. So I will add this to add. So, and after this is being selected, we should like clean up the search. And why there's two of them? Okay, I think this one. Okay. Okay, and yeah, so basically like this one is the very fundamental things we could have, right? And for here, I think that's used pre to make it as like format JSON. So we can see that. Okay, and here we kind of have like, I don't know how to call, basic setup. So as you can see, that's in these workflows, I kind of have like, I think I have two tasks to do. Since like we are doing auto importing, but like when we use this, when we use our local composables, we still need to import it, right? So, and here is that their solution here is that in auto import that you can provide a directory path to it. So like you can have call like source components, composables there. And with this one, you can see that this the exported from, for example, here, our like local export are being auto imported. So here is the definition of them. So like we don't need to import them. We can remove this one. So like this one would still work and also have the type definition. So, and also like we could remove this one. So this would also work. So then we can like avoiding to like make it more clear. So like we don't need to have it. But here is a little bit different is that the auto import context is a little bit different inside of the templates rather than inside of the script setup. So here we have a feature called Vue templates, which like setting it to true is telling that the auto import plugins to also transform the auto import inside of the Vue template, which is a Vue specific feature. So with that, we could like also remove it. So like you still have the types for it. So yeah. So then like I think that's the app will still works as always. So this one is like so Vite enables the auto import, and yeah, for types for now, like you still have to type it, you still have to import it. Yeah, sadly there is like we are still working on it to see if that's something we could improve. And also for me, like I kind of feel that we should have a like reactive transform enabled, so like we could get out the value thing to make it more concise. So here I just like adding the $sign to here, and then I can remove the value here, and then like using that. But then like the type here is not being like generated. So in auto import, we also in our config here, we also like adding Vue micro. So then like the type being inferred, and then like it will work. So you can use the data, you can use the ref as just like a reactive variables. You can think of that. So like you don't need to adding the dot value thing to there. And also like we could have it here. So it'll be like make our code easier. And also with the reactive transform, it also works for the pops. No, but we don't have a pops yet. But like you can use like this way. So it will use not to work since like you are like destructuring a reactive pops. But like with reactive transform enabled, it will be also like a reactive variables from the pops. So like it will be like make it easier, so you don't need to have a pops the balabalas area everywhere, I think. So yeah. So Vite reactivity transform. Oh, then I will push it. So I think I have the other thing. Okay. So also as you can see that for the border, like the gray here, the gray dash 200, is that I kind of like repeat it over a place, but actually I made a mistake. Is that I use I think I use 15 two wares, and one is the 20s, right? So in here, I would like to like define a shortcut here. So for example, like I can have like border base to say like, okay, this is the base color of the borders we would like to have. So we don't need to like define it, like repeat the numbers everywhere. So it could be like easier for us to like forget what the real number is, or like make it harder to change the later on, right? So here we could have like border gray, and to say, okay, let's say 15. And this also comes to like you can have multiple utilities here. So yeah, maybe I think that's is the times that maybe we need to introduce the dark mode and light mode switch. So here is that you can if you want to have multiple colors, we could have like for darks, for maybe you want to have a borders in light mode, which is like 20, or like a complete different colors inside of light mode or dark mode. So with this border dash base shortcut we defined, we could like make it as a base. So as you can see that here, so it this hover is providing by the Uno CSS VS Code extension. So you could see the output of it. So as you can see, once we define the shortcut, it can be used anywhere. So we will just like change it to base. So and later on, if we want to like change the color of it, we could like also change it inside of our config so that it will work for everywhere. Okay, and then like I think we should like introduce the dark mode switch, so like we can see the apps what's the apps would look like between light mode and dark mode. So here I might need to install like Vue use core, which is utilities for the composition APIs. So it comes with the okay. So once we installed, we could also like update this our config here to like add Vue use /core. So all the utilities from Vue use can be also auto imported. So here I would like have a dark switcher here, and then like I could have I can use is dark use dark, and then it could be a button, and I could have say like toggle dark, then equal to use dark use toggle, and then like we provide the is dark thing. So when we click it, we can see that toggle dark. And for the contents of it, you could say that if we want to do a pure text, so it's dark, and then like we say that's okay dark and then light. So maybe that's starting with this one. So inside of the apps, we could have a like here, okay, and then you click it, you see that the thing changes, but not the value. Things like we are like forcing the whole thing to be like dark mode. So then we just need to change the dark here, I think, and then we can no. Then that's a bit weird. Or its server is there. Toggle dark. Not sure what I'm missing here. Background or like HTML. Let me think about it. Maybe that means restart the server. Maybe it will work. Nope. Why it won't work? What happened to it? Dark, and the class being removed. Okay, the style is here. Oh, I see. I see now. So when I copy the components here, it copy with the styles, so it overrides it. So yeah, as you can see that we can toggle the dark and the light mode using the functionality providing by the Vue use, which you can see that use dark function, and hovering on that you can see the link to the docs, and for almost all the composables from Vue use. So yeah, you can check out about the implementations later. So here, actually, like I would like to use icons for dark and light in setting of the using the text here. So one interesting here is that with the Uno CSS icons is all in like pure CSS. So like you can have say like carbon here and let's say some. So let me remove it. So like it will be an icons of the sum, right? So in dark mode you can have a variant of like dark column, and then like you can again like to have a different set of the icon. So for example here I will say moon, and then like when you toggle it, it will display differently, and that's something that's without the JavaScript. It's all in CSS, so it will changing the icons, the interface based on the global like dot class dot dark class. As you can see, that's inside of the HTML, and when we toggle it, it will toggle with the class name of the HTML element. So this one is like completely in CSS. And yeah, so I think that's maybe we should add a navbar, right? And for now, like I think for navbar it should be a simple one for now. So we will just like move the component here, and then like we have a title here. Let's say what do we call word time. So then we use a flex. Here again we use the attribute finds, and then like we could have gap to it, or maybe gap is not useful here, but anyway we could have items center to align the vertical one, and then we could have like justify evenly. Okay, between I think. So I would like to have like the title here, and then like to have the icons on the right. And for that, this one is like too close to the corner of the app, so we can just adding a pending to it. So maybe 4 np2. Okay, I think that's a bit weird. 3. I guess 3 looks better. And then like I guess for the, did I just like zoom out? Okay, I think I kind of zoom out too much. So here we're just like wrapping with the other element here. So we could have a text sans. For the navbar, I would like to have the text larger, and then like maybe this one should be 2XL. Yeah, I don't really have a clear image of the designs right now. So yeah, I would just like changing it randomly to see what are the best fit of it. But yeah. Okay. I guess we might need to have a. Okay, I think here. So I think like this one. So for example, like for the background, I think I can have a little bit gray. Okay, I think gray should be 10 or 5, and I would like to have this box as a white, and then I can drop a shadow here. So it'll be more like a card, and then like we need to have the I think it's for screen, right? Screen is stand for like 100 VH. So this phase that we could have a little bit like car styles of the scene, and then I think we need to like make it a bit larger. Here, sorry, it's not here. It's like P4. Okay, and I think the input is a bit like small. And the same for here, right? We could have like p.x2 y2, something like that. So we could have x3, and then we could have it. And for the navbar, I want to have it like full, so we have more space on this, and maybe we have switch and opacities like half. And then like you can see that this one that the background here is that it's different. You know, like in dark mode it's still white, which is not what we desire. So here we would have like I think, where is the white here in the app here, right? So basically, like if in a dark we would like have a gray. Maybe let's call it BG gray, and maybe 9. Okay. Yeah, something like that. And then like for these ones, we would like to we could have again a shortcut of it. So I will use a bg.base for background, and again we could change this one to like bg base. And here again for the entire background here, maybe I also need to have a one. And sorry, here. So again, I may have like bg.sim, I think. Canvas. Yeah, basically like you name it, doesn't really matter that much. And I will add it to here. Oh, font sense. And then like I think this is too light in dark, and maybe that's quite 8. Yeah, something like that should work, I think. So yeah, okay. Maybe, yeah, maybe let's have it for now. So here we can see that fit and dark mode. Okay, yeah, I'll push it. Okay. Yeah, do you have any questions? If I can answer. Yeah, I kind of talk too much. I need to have a rest for my throat. Yeah, I don't know how much I would take. So for now, I think it's already been 1.5 hours, right? So it's already 90 minutes. So I guess, I don't know. I would like to like make these apps as something to at least have something like some functionalities when we end it. So it will be like not too empty for this section. Okay. I think let's back on it. So let me think. So here is that I would like to fix this ugly thing. Yeah, you see that for now, like we kind of defining the background of our like canvas and our box. So here we could like reuse them. So we could have a digital base, and then we could have a little bit pending. We have a border and base here. Oh yeah, I didn't forget to start a server. So here, yeah, I think this one, that's the pop-up will be like matching more with the style, right? So and then like I would like to reduce the result of the amount of the result. So maybe we just pick 10 of them. So here, or maybe we could list all of them, but like with a scroll bar. Yeah, that would also do. Sure, I think that makes more sense. So I think we need to like sort them a bit. For this one is for the position, and for the second row is for the styles of it and the background here. Okay, and for the height, we may have like max height of like, I don't know, 40, 50, and overflow auto, which, yeah, you can see. Okay, this one works. And then for the time zoom, I kind of like to have a custom component for it, to have it as a, I guess, at least better looking, right? I'm not sure how should we handle about the 0.5 thing, but yeah, anyway, and that's created time zoom item, and then like this is the first time we could use the pops. So time zoom, or like we just say time zoom, and the type is time zoom, where we need to import it. Nope, not from here. Types. Okay. And for here, we could copy over the implementation we just did here, or maybe the entire button. But then we remove the V4 and the key of it. And the event should be handled by the usage of the component. So here we kind of basically like copy over here, and maybe just call it dev. And for here we can have a time zoom item, and where the time zoom will be i.item, and we can remove it. So I think, okay, again, this works like this one. Why? Okay, I think the bottom here is like inline, so like we should have a block to make it as a block. And then like I think we could have a little bit better styles of them. So first I would like to make the okay, I will just use time zoom here. So for example, like maybe the area of it. I don't know how you call state, and compute it. And so for time zone and name and splits, we got the first one. And for the, I don't know how it called. It seems like the I guess city, right? City, and then one. This will be a bit like less performance, but I don't think that would really matter much. So here we could have a state, and again we can have we can have wrapper with the like this one and city. I'd like to have a little bit more like more vertical, taking more vertical space, and then like text left, and to like have the text more like have the city more weird. So and then I would fade the yeah, I mean the state of it. And then like for the numbers, I think I can have it as shouldn't be font mono again, but we could have like text large. Yeah, I would like to have the plus sign to make it more explicit. Okay. What's the thing? What's wrong? Can't find that. What? What's the case? Or maybe we just like offset. I don't know if that's a bug in Vola, but no, it's it's gone. But anyway, let's move the logic to the script. So here we kind of have a bit like leading 1M. Okay. PY1. I think we should have this smaller. Okay, I guess that's fine. This one, okay, I think this should be fine. And maybe we kind and font. But that doesn't really matter. We could change them later on. And for this one, we could have make it more higher. And then I think it comes to the index. So we should have a way to like have you to be able to be using the keys to navigate, right? So maybe here we could have like the index of if the index equal to the index, we will have a background, a little bit light background to 5, I guess. Oh, interesting. This one won't take the full space. Why? Oh. Okay, that's weird. Why the progress? Why the button does not take the full width of it? I didn't know what I did wrong. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Anyway, let's have a auto. Okay. And then like for this we could have an input like key down. Arrow down and index should plus to 1. And if arrow up should -1, right? But like we would like to have -1 plus index and then like mode with the I think is the length of this one. Okay, we should add a $sign to it. So this ways we would like to like loop the list. So we want overflow, or like when we kind press ARP. Nope. Why it's not working? Yeah, it's always hard for me to understand what's the key is. So I will use console log to log it. Okay, the key down. It does not trigger at all, I think. No, yeah, it's working now. Okay, probably just, yeah, okay. And then like we could select the items and make it more appear here. So when we press the enter, we should just add to the time zone of it, the item, I think. And then we could see, okay, New York, enter, and then Shanghai, enter. So yeah, I think that's kind of the fundamental of it. But of course, there are some like accessibility issues we need to improve or something. Yeah, that's something we could improve later. But I think the basic function here is done. So here, improve search. Okay, and then I think at this we should figure out for this time. Yeah, I think for this like live stream we should like make some progress on this, right? So I think we should like at least make the data presentation at this not that bad, right? So here we expanding the zoom here. So yeah, let's say we should use a V4 for now, and zoom off, zooms. And the key. I see. Does not exist. Oh, I see. We cannot we cannot use this since like we are exporting it. So here we still need to use ref for the internal state. So this way we could use it. Then we could use them inside of the other modules. So, and I will just use the time zoom item and then assign the item to it. Right. Okay. You see? Oh, that's interesting. You see have an overlay here. So yeah, I think for the search here, we need to have a z index. Should be 10. 10 should be right. 10 should be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. And then maybe we just add a rounded. And maybe you just add a shadow to it. So in the line mode, it should have a bit like nice looking. So yeah. And for the pending, I guess we could remove it and leave the responsibility to the button here. So we have P2, PX2 here. But then like we don't have a little bit small white border of it. Okay. And then here, maybe we should have a template here. We should have a little placeholder here and v if only when the length is here, and then like we have a callback, fallback that's, or like I think we should always have the current time zoom from the user land, right? I guess that's make better sense. So if let's say that's zoom zooms.value.length. If not, we will just push the current time zoom to it. But then it comes to the problem here is that JS get time zoom string. Okay, one liner. I like it. let's check if that would work. Paste it. Okay, so it's Asia Shanghai, where I don't actually locate in Shanghai now, but it's fine. So, and yeah, so the zoom here dot value, we should push the zoom to it, right? And also like that's just exported user time zoom. Okay, so here I'm thinking that things like basically like here we need to have a time zoom, and then we should find one. I.names equal to use time zoom, right? So this ways, yeah, this ways we could have like when we refresh the page, we always have the current time zoom from your from the user agent. But I'm kind of thinking to have a bit like data persist to like say, okay, if I add New York here, when I refresh the page, I should kind of remain what I had inside of it. So for the data here, I don't want to like store the entire time zoom, the entire time zoom object here, since like there are some duplications from the data set. With this one, the offset and is summertime is something that we already provide in the data set. But if we kind of preserve it in like local storage or something, we can duplicate. And if our data change, it will have a misalignment, and yeah, it makes things less efficient. So So I'm thinking that to have a zoom here is that I just use the string as the zoom here, and then like I kind of have a computed and zoom. Let's say that zoom names, right? And zooms we could have like computed, and then for the computed we could have zoom names a map, and then like we can have the name. Okay, we can have the lookup thing. So for this ones, and then like we can have to push the name, and then here we just push value here to push user time zone. Oh, sorry, it should be here like this one. Okay, yeah. So it should work. Like just try it. Okay. So again, that's when we refresh the page, it's gone, right? So here it's quite simple. Like we just change the ref to use storage, which is from Vue use, and then adding a key to it. So let's say like word time and zooms, giving a key to it, so like it will be persist inside of the local storage. So that's it. That's okay. This doesn't change at all. But like when we add New York, when we refresh the page, you can see that New York remains. And then if we add another, and when we refresh, it remains. So yeah. And for the styling bit, I would like to change it a little bit to the pending 4 here is currently like this one, where I would like to pending 3 here. Yeah, let me think. It should be px4 and py2, and then we have a border which only button and using the base, so we have a bit like better looking on the items. Okay, so yeah, I think that's I can commit it. So data persist. Yeah. So and then I guess to make it like, since like currently like we only providing the push thing, so like we can add a lot of them, but we cannot remove them, right? So and yeah, we just need a few controls of the thing, which actually I kind of like the styles of this one, and they made is that, and is that okay, interesting. So I kind of like this one. So like it's out of the, it's a little bit beyond the entire box of it, which is, I think, is quite interesting. I think we could do that as well. So here I guess we could have a more space of it, maybe 8, 6, sorry, and 8. Yeah, maybe like that. And then for, I think I can use X. So we don't want to change the word time. It's also X. So it better fit, right? Okay. Yeah, for the here. So basically, like we kind again we have a relative. So we could move things out of the element box. So here I can say that's okay. absolute, and depth would be minus 10 pixels. I don't know. Let's see. And yeah, let's put the buttons first. So button, and then like we have an icon here. Icon close. Okay. And top 0, bottom 0. Only the left is like 40. 10. Sorry, 10. Fine. Okay, yeah, something like that. And I kind of feel it's a bit small, right? Okay, should be fine. And yeah, then let me search for the not this one. Yeah, I would like to up. And for up, okay, here I copy the code of it and then like down. Okay, and then you use flex column, and then justify center. So they are like always. Okay, I think I need an index here. And then like if index if index equal to not equal to 0. Okay, yeah. So the first one does not have the upper button, and zoom star length value dot length -1. Okay, and again for the icons, I would like to have a little bit shortcut of the icon button. Okay, let me just make it more like, okay. So icon button here is that I would like to have a shortcut of it. So basically like here I can have an icon button, and then like we have an opacity 40 by default. When we hover it, we change the opacity to 100. So you can see that, okay, we can hover it, but actually I kind of think that's a bit, maybe I can reduce it even more. Okay, yeah, I think that's something would work, I guess. And here for the title, we should say like remove, and here we should say like move up, and then title move down. So yeah, I think the gap of them are a bit too much. But I don't define any gap of them. Let me check. The button is quite large. Should we have like margin 1 pixel? Okay, we kind of reduce their margin for 1 pixel, so like they are more like compact to each other. Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. And maybe let's move it a little bit over. So and then like we can like remove zoom, and then like we can have move up, move down. Or we should have like move delta. So this one we could have only one function for it. Okay. So to be more explicit, so like adding the zoom postfix. So state export function, remove zoom, time zoom. Okay. GitHub Copilot is working for me. Move zoom, time zoom, zoom, and delta. No, I don't think this one is correct. Okay. I think we should have like 1 or -1. So if delta yeah, I don't really know. Target equal to index, which okay, we can just swap it, right? I think we can just swap it. Value, the others, zoom value, and target, and then like zoom names value target, equal to zoom down name. Okay, I think that would do. Okay, yeah, I think that's working. And then if we remove it, when we refresh the page, it will work. So yeah, I think that's it. Pretty good. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think maybe that's pretty much it. I guess one last thing I might want to do is that we could have a time on it. So let's say that, okay, export count now equal to use now. Use now, like it will returns a date with a ref, and it will, I think it will update in every second, I guess. Maybe I think we could change the interval to it. So if we don't need to every second, we could say, okay, we should update for like 10 seconds for once, or like 30 seconds, things like maybe we just displays for minutes. And yeah, I think we could use the date NFS. Date farms time zoom. JS format date with time zoom. I guess there is a built-in thing for it, right? Okay. That's the kind of the basic. Maybe I can try. So the time zoom item here is that we kind of have the time, again, compute it, and then like we use, inside of the new date here, we use the now.value, which will update, so like it will trigger the reruns, the re-rendering, or when the time changes. So let's see. Okay, yeah, the time. Okay, the time zoom here should be the time zoom.name. Oh, okay, I see. So basically, like it's actually like the same times, but one is for PM, is one for the AM. We just like we have like exact 12 hours diff. But yeah, I don't think I want to have. Yeah, I think I need to a more advanced thing. Seems like I don't want to display the seconds of it. I think I need to have a format like this one. Let me check the definition of it. Okay, here. Basically like I want to have hours and minutes, right? This one. And the first one should always be okay. That's something. Okay, then we can pass the time zone here for the time zone dot name. Okay. And we don't need to have a time zone, and we don't need to have the second. Okay. And I think nums. Yeah, seems like currently like you can see that the one is a bit narrower to this one, so like they are not really aligned. And I can't forget what's the utility called. What's the name of the utilities? Names. Nums, I think. Tabular nums. Okay. So this, I think this utilities will make it, yeah, align with the, to have like a bit like monospace styles of phone numbers, so like they can align it. So this ways we could have like a times each of them, and for these ones we could also have like I think we could have okay data here. Yeah. So we could also like exposing this one, so like we could display them. Yeah, you can see. So we can make it as a budget. So maybe super to make it okay. And then we have a border again. Oh, we don't have this one. Okay, and rounded. And then px x1 y. I think only x1 should do. Okay, yeah, we can display the budgets of the actual the code of the time zone. And also like for the city names, I kind of need to like replace the underscore to space. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should do the same for the city. So like New York don't have the underscore. Okay. Yeah. All right. fit display time for Timezone. Right. Yeah, I think it has been like 2 hours, and I think that's quite a day. And I kind of like I'm like very sorry about the instance about the streaming, but like at least we finally like make some progress on this. And thanks for watching. And I guess for the latest, I would like to make it this one as a series, so like you can like I will only like change the code base when I do the stream, so like you can see the whole progress of like I made this apps and from the scratch to what it would be end as it. So that kind of means that we will still have like a few streams on this project later, and probably like I would like to like maybe cover small time zones from, since like I guess there some of you might like they're just midnight for them, or like this is like very early morning for you. So yeah, I would like try to have like different times for like streaming this, and also I will try to like make the recording upload it, right? So yeah, probably